All right, kind of response back to Nick Zeus on this economic stuff. So I guess we'll just call this Economics 5 or whatever, even though the subject is sort of the change. So I would suggest the previous editions. Maybe I'll post links if you haven't seen any of those to get into more detail. So anyway, Nick, I don't think I mischaracterized your video, and watching the longer version didn't make me any happier. You basically said, yeah, well, let's get rid of the regulations, like, I mean, you didn't say the words, but like the minimum wage, like worker safety, like environmental limitations. I mean, all that basic stuff. This argument that business is over-regulated is such a pile of crap. Businesses aren't in China because there's less regulations. They're in China because the labor's cheaper. They can exploit people. They can make them work more hours for less money, and it's uncivilized. So you might as well say, to bring back growth and more jobs, we might as well bring back slavery or involuntary servitude or some other nonsense. I mean, workers aren't the problem. People's willingness to work isn't the problem. It is capitalists that are the problem. You seem to think, apparently, that these entrepreneurs are the engine of our civilization. And to me, no, they're just parasites on productivity and on our eventual progress. In your whole video, you're not dealing with the real problem. The reason why there's a breakdown in jobs and growth is because it was an unsustainable consumption. The growth was all based on borrowed money. It doesn't, the rich people had so much money, they couldn't even spend it all. They couldn't build mansions big enough. I mean, they really couldn't. I mean, they could do the hearse thing, but they don't want to get obscene. I mean, they don't, they want to start building castles again. But they have so much money that they can't spend it. So they can lend it. They lend it to the world, okay, to the people, to the peasants. And, it's a great deal for them because they make more money back on their money. Their money grows because of the usury that the poor people have to pay back. But they've been playing this game for a long time now, decades, and now there's no way. There's no more money. Like I said, I've said this before, there's not a credit crisis, there's a debt crisis. People can't borrow any more money. There's no more good risks out there. They're all bad risks. A company that needs money to meet its payroll, needs to borrow money to meet its payroll, is not a company in good health. It's a company in bad health. And the company's going bankrupt, or company's already besieged with debt. They're not going bankrupt because I just can't get my first loan. No, they can't. They're going bankrupt because they can't get their 438th loan. Collateralize 14,000 times. They can't refinance the debt they already have burdening them, because no one's stupid enough to think they have any prospect of paying the money back, especially in a declining economy. It's not a credit crisis, it's a debt crisis. The rich have gotten richer to preposterous proportions, and now we, the people, the majority of people, the masses, we owe them trillions of dollars. And the only way that we can pay it back is we have to do trillions of dollars worth of extra work. Not work you do over time, but no, besides the regular work people have to do to feed themselves and have their life, they have to do trillions of dollars worth of extra work. Okay, so I mean, we've gone from a world where a family could depend on one income to a world where, yes, families have two incomes, and even that's not going to be enough because now they're going to need three incomes, because now they have to pay back trillions of dollars. So I mean, it just doesn't work. That's why the economy is declining. That's why the growth is suspended. That's why the game is over, because it was all based on borrowed money, the consumption. And so now the only consumers left are the wealthy, the ones who own all the debt. But the catch there is they can't spend their money until they extract it from the people who owe it to them. And how that extraction process takes place is going to be where this game really gets interesting, because that's where this money is going to start, especially when it starts losing its value and inflation starts setting in because of all the borrowed federal debt. There's what's the prospect here? There's no prospect for growth and jobs. And to say slavery will solve the problem, to say that we can extract more of the life of the average working person, instead of 40 or 50 hours, let's make it 60 or 70. I mean, come on, it's crazy. So, I don't see where you're going with this rhetoric. Regulation is not the problem. Deregulation is not the solution. The problem has been built over decades. It's not going to go away with some simple solution. It can, but the simplest solution has to be something that does something about that debt equation, that does something about the preposterous differential there is between the top 1% holding 70% of the world's value and the masses. And so until those numbers are changed, or until that equation is changed, this economy is dead. This here and in the rest of the world, because everybody owes the money. There's nobody who hasn't played the game, and the game is doom. So enough said. Short video, relatively.